So, Ange, I want to start first of all by saying congratulations.
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited for you and for United Way, and especially for our community. I've had the pleasure of working with you for 25 years? We've been together?
25 years.
So I thought it'd be fun for our community to get an opportunity to learn a little bit about you. So why don't we start with you just telling us what you like to do and a little bit about Angela.
So I graduated from Ohio State, so I'm obviously a big Buckeye fan. I enjoy spending time with my son, Benjamin, and my two dogs, Copper and Zoe, but I really enjoy reading. I'm a big history buff, American history especially, and so I enjoy reading books about all of the different presidents and the different time periods, and I enjoy traveling and watching my son play sports. So that's pretty much the highlight reel.
Fun! It's really busy at the office. We have lots of hours in, but when you have that time to spend in the evenings or the weekends, what kind of things do you like to do?
So it depends on the season, on what sporting event I'm at. So typically either football in the fall or baseball in the spring. That's how I end up spending most of my weekends, and usually a night or two during the week. But when there isn't sports, I enjoy just going out and visiting different spots that I've never been to before, or visiting, different towns, taking little road trips, things like that.
So Stark County, you talk about going out and seeing things. Are there certain areas in Stark County that are your favorites or you like to visit?
One of the things I think is really spectacular about Stark County, again, being a history lover, obviously people think about the Pro Football Hall of Fame and it just being iconic. So whenever you're traveling and someone says, "Oh, where are you from?" and you're like, "Well, do you know where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is?" And everybody says yes. So I really appreciate that we can go there. And the last time I was there, we had someone take us around, and it was fantastic, really getting to understand a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff. But then also the First Lady's Library. So I think that that's amazing that we have that as well. And I think that's kind of a really well-kept secret that sometimes people don't always think about. And then I also appreciate the Massillon Museum in Massillon. I don't get there as often as I like, but it's really quite a gem.
Are there any special events that go on in Canton that you look forward to during the year?
So the two that really stand out to me is the Balloon Classic. Actually, in the last couple of years, we've started a tradition where we actually get donuts and go out that morning and chase the balloons. And so we've actually had the opportunity last year to see quite a few of them land and be able to learn a little bit about the balloons. And then the other one is the Hall of Fame Parade. That's just always a good time, getting to see all of the high school bands showcased and the different things in the community. That's always a good time.
So 25 years. When we look around the community, it's not uncommon, people stay 3, 5, 8 years, but 25 years. So what is it about United Way that you're there 25 years later and now coming in as the new CEO?
When I started at United Way, I did not even know what United Way did. I knew that I had seen it mentioned during football games that my brothers or my dad had watched football, but I didn't know exactly what it did. I knew it did something good in the community. And so when I came on board and I had the opportunity, I've spent probably 23 of the 25 years raising money. And so having the opportunity to go and share the United Way story with literally thousands of people over the course of that time frame, you just can't help but just appreciate how important the work of the organization is. And I think the thing that really stands out to me is that we see lots of nonprofits that do fantastic work. But for me personally, I find United Way to be it's just different. We're unique in a really positive way. We may not be out there really handing out the food or doing something like that, but we're bringing people together and driving a mission for a cause that is important, that reaches all people. And that's just pretty exciting to me. And being able to come to work every day and know that when you go home, that whatever you've done has led towards somebody's life being better, that's pretty rewarding.
So you mentioned when you first came to United Way, you weren't familiar with what United Way is. So talk to me a little bit about your journey, how you started, what you did over the last 25 years, where you ended up now, and talk a little bit about your journey.
It's been a lot of fun. And so I started out as an administrative assistant. I had moved back here from Columbus to be closer to my family. And so I needed a job, right? And so I applied. And I remember at the time, the person that hired me saying, you know, you're actually overqualified for this position. And I said, I know, but if I do it well, then maybe you'll give me something else to do. And so then 6 months later, I was going out and speaking primarily to workplaces, asking them to support United Way. And I did that in a variety of different capacities for, I would say, decades. I've also then had the opportunity to work on the volunteer side as far as coordinating volunteer events, our corporate volunteer council, working with workplace partners to coordinate volunteer activities, and then lead the resource development efforts for a number of years before stepping into the role, my most recent role, and having to really play a much more integrated part into community impact. And so that was very interesting to me because I was so acclimated to, you know, raising the money. And of course, you have to know what the organization does. You have to know the product to be able to sell it, if you will. But I really was blown away by all the behind the scenes stuff that I had not experienced, even though I had been there so long. So that's been fun to get to learn as well.
It's amazing the work the volunteers do. I mean, it's an organization that really is based upon volunteerism and driven by volunteerism. It's amazing what they do.
And I think it's also something that a lot of people may not realize too, is that it's volunteers who make those funding decisions, and they put a lot of time and effort and thought behind those
Very
decisions.
committed to it.
Yes.
You talked, Ange, about the campaign and how much time you spent. And I just want to say personally how much I admire your commitment to the organization. You know, asking people for money is not something everybody enjoys doing. Most people want to sign a letter versus picking up that phone or going on point to some place to meet with someone. But you're not afraid to ask the question. You actually embrace it. So what would you say is one of your fondest memories of United Way, whether it's campaign related or volunteerism?
It was the one that automatically, there's been many first, I will say that, but the one that automatically jumps out at me is our campaign kickoff in 2001 was actually September 12th. So the day after the terrorist attack. And we made the decision at the time to go ahead and have the event. And not knowing, you know, what the response was going to be, but we had volunteers coming for Day of Caring that day. And so we had about 600 volunteers that showed up that morning in their all the same t-shirts. But what stood out is a time when people they were devastated. They didn't know what to do. All they knew is that they wanted to make a difference. And I think that it didn't matter the color of your skin. It didn't matter what your religious beliefs were. It didn't matter. Any of the differences didn't matter. At that point in time, everybody realized that we are more alike than we are different. And all people wanted to do was help. And that having that outlet for them that morning was something that they appreciated so very much. And it has always stuck out to me as one of the ways that has epitomized what United Way represents, is really bringing people together from every background to be able to come together and use our differences in a way that is just incredibly positive for the overall outcome of the community. It was just incredibly special.
I'm getting goosebumps. I'm remembering that day because people were just so appreciative to have an opportunity to come together as a community and to take care of each other. It was a powerful morning.
Yeah.
So really great memories with United Way. But let's talk a little bit about looking forward. So in 2 months, literally in 2 months, you're going to be stepping in as the new CEO of United Way. So what's your vision? What would you like to see continue on, build upon? What do you see as United Way going in the next decades?
So I think, it's interesting timing because next month we will celebrate our 100-year anniversary in the community. And it's been an incredible legacy, the things that have been accomplished. And so I would like to build upon that, all the things that make United Way unique and special, to really continue to push those things forward, but at the same time knowing that the world has definitely changed. When we look at the marketplace, it's certainly not even like it was when I started 25 years ago, and how we continue to adapt so that we can best meet the community needs.
So what do you want the community to know about United Way as you start this new journey? What kind of input, feedback, thoughts from the community?
I'm interested in hearing, kind of the good, bad, and the ugly, right? So I want to hear about the things that people believe that we're doing really well at and what we must continue doing, as well as, maybe you could improve in this area, or have you thought about this? Because unless people share their thoughts and opinions, we can't guess what those are. And we do. We truly want to know what people think, because you can't read people's minds. You can't, even perceptions. Some things may only be a perception, but if someone has it, that's what they legitimately believe to be true. And so I encourage people, when you share those things, it gives us an opportunity to either validate what you're thinking, or to say, okay, well, maybe you didn't have all the facts, or what you didn't know is this. So really that transparency.
And you're big on transparency. So you know where I'm going next, because this is always what I ask. So you're sitting there and you're saying, ask me this question, Maria. I always ask that. What haven't I asked you that you want the community to know about ANG or United Way or your vision going forward?
I don't know that it's something that I want you to ask. I guess I would hope that anybody who knows me knows how passionate I am about this organization and the work that it does, and that it doesn't happen alone. One of the things that I'm a big sports person, and I think that we learn a lot from sports. And you could have drafted the best player, the top draft pick for every single position, but if you can't come together as a team, you're not going to win games. I just think it's important that we as a team, whether that's the team at United Way, the volunteer team, or the community team, it's going to take all of us to address some of these really complex challenges that our community faces. I want people to come forward and share ideas, thoughts, concerns, realizing that we can't address every single, issue or thought or concern. I believe strongly to please everyone is to please no one. So I'm sure there's always going to be, we're not going to change everything in one, magic with a magic wand, but it will take all of us. But I am absolutely 100% committed to this organization, to the team, and I always think about the kids here in Stark County. I'm fortunate enough to, have a son, and I often think about, the day he was born, there were other kids that were born that same day in that same hospital. And I just think that it's terrible that for kids, it's the hand that you're, the hand that you're dealt. And I want every child to have the same opportunities, no matter, to be successful, to have a good life, no matter what hand they were dealt, no matter what socioeconomic status they were born into. And that is something that I'm just really very passionate about. And I think most people are passionate about.
Well said, Ange. Well, again, I'm so proud of you and so honored to have worked with you for 25 years. And I will be watching every step of the way, cheering you on in the United Way. And I couldn't be prouder. So congratulations on being the next president and CEO of United Way of Greater Stark County. You're going to be wonderful.
Thank you.